who was flanked by the first daughter, Diana Remera, warmly welcomed the former president of Botswana and the members of Space for Giants to Uganda. The president, an ardent conservationist of wildlife and environment, asked members of Space for Giants to also take interest in the conservation of wetlands. He said wetlands have been encroached on by farmers that grow rice. President Museveni was, however, glad to learn that the areas identified by the organization, including Karamoja sub-region, need their effort as they have been degraded by the locals who overgraze cattle in the game reserve and also engage in charcoal burning. Now, the Omukama of Toro Kingdom, His Royal Highness Oyo Nyimba Kabamba Igururukidi IV, has hailed President Museveni for skilling the youth with employable vocational skills. He said the president's initiative enables 78% of Uganda's young population below the age of 30 to join the money economy. King Oyo's remarks were contained in a speech delivered at the graduation ceremony of 489 youth who have completed vocational training at Toro Presidential Industrial Hub, located at Kijwiga, Kianjojo District. His speech was delivered for him by Mr. Kwemera Ngabo William, who is Toro's Deputy Prime Minister in charge of finance and administration.
Ngu State House eka tukontaktinga ngu tukolene nayo kuleba ngu echetengo cha president cha agenda mmeisho.
A total of 19 regional industrial hubs have been set up by the government of Uganda across the country under the presidential initiative to scale youth into the money economy. Students drawn from the districts of Nyangabo, Chegegwa, Chenjojo, Chitagwenda, Kamwinga and Kabaroli were awarded certificates in 7 vocational disciplines. In a speech read by Toro Kingdom Prime Minister, King Oyo noted that there still exists a big and wrong mindset in youth that education is meant to prepare people for white-collar jobs in the form of secured employment for life with a pension on retirement. He pledged on behalf of the kingdom to support all efforts by government to improve the young people's lives and contribute to the president's effort in scaling the youth. At the ceremony, students were awarded Uganda Vocational Qualifications Level 1 certificate by the Directorate of Industrial Training, which is equivalent to the Uganda Certificate of Education level. The hub manager, Cynthia Kamasaka, informed the guests that the training center receives 40 students from each district in Toro sub-region with the help of the district committees. She described the scaling program as one of the successful ones. Students gave testimonies while thanking President Museveni for this opportunity.
Nkatandika kura this program nkanduga mu isomero ntaine kyokora omugiso murungi nahura this program eya presidential hubs mbegeseza busa tebeneke bakusaba no ijanengo izawe.
Now, the Prime Minister, Robin Nabanja, has asked African countries to unite and advocate for reforms in the global financial architecture, including cancellation of debts imposed by the multinationals. The Premier was addressing the 10th Africa Regional Forum on Sustainable Development being held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
The Africa Regional Forum for Sustainable Development is an annual event organized by UNECA in partnership with African Union. The event also provides an opportunity to prepare African countries, especially those preparing voluntary national review reports, to review preparedness and to develop a regional position on key issues like unemployment, climate change, and global security, among others, to be presented at the high-level political forum in July in New York. Speaking about the debt burden African countries are facing, the Prime Minister said, "We must stop being followers in the global discussion, but rather innovators and solution providers to many of our African challenges."
Define our priorities that favor acceleration of growth for African countries by maintaining unity and solidarity. For example, In order to achieve global affluence, we must get rid of exploitive phenomenon of commercial lending.
The Prime Minister said commercial lending must be concessional, long-term and with low interest rates to finance long-term projects in infrastructure, manufacturing and education.
Exploitive debts should be cancelled. They should cancel these debts. And this should be an awakening call.
Executive Secretary for the UN Economic Commission for Africa, Mr. Cleve Gatete, said African countries can no longer do business as usual.
Only 2 countries with investment grade ratings, high-risk premiums that cost the continent up to $75 billion and the climate challenges that reduce budgets by up to 5% of GDP on an annual basis.
The Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Ms. Amina J. Mohamed, highlighted that the African continent has been hit by the global shocks due to COVID-19, coupled by conflicts and instability that are causing untold suffering and hence jeopardizing African Union goals and the SDGs.
It is squeezing the economies on this continent dry, leaving very little fiscal space or nothing to invest in sustainable development, often at the expense of education and health services.
This year, Uganda is scheduled to present her 3rd voluntary national review report to be presented in July 2024. The preparation processes are being coordinated by the SDG Secretariat, Office of the Prime Minister.
Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has urged the Busoga sub-regional local government to unite and prioritize the development agenda of Busoga. The Speaker was officiating at the capacity building training for the Busoga local government that was organized by the Parliamentary Commission in Kampala.
Thank you. The 2-day capacity building training for the Busoga local government is to enhance leaders' capacity in managing their areas of effectiveness. This engagement also seeks to find solutions on how leaders can work together in solving challenges faced by the region.
The national resistance movement can galvanize, can work together and foment a solution that they can be able to take down to the people of Busoga and to the people they lead.
The Vice Chairman, NRM Eastern Uganda, Captain Mike Mukula, outlined challenges faced by Busoga sub-region that called for this urgent capacity building initiative.
One of the biggest challenges Busoga faces now, and these members of parliament, members here, the leaders know, has been the issue of poverty, ubavu. The second problem Busoga faces, and which is encompassing the country, is the youth unemployment.
Speaker of Parliament Anita Among, while engaging with the leadership, cited the need of unity in order to develop Busoga sub-region.
What is paramount is unity. Once you're united as Busoga, once we are united as Busoga, then we can achieve all that we want to achieve in the region.
Earlier, Speaker Among presided over the launch of the 13th Lottery Cancer Run 2024, the event that seeks to raise money to build a radiotherapy center at Zambia Hospital. Speaker revealed that Parliament will contribute 1 billion shillings towards the construction. The Speaker attributed how this donation complements government's role on decongesting institutions that offer the same treatment.
We are thanking you for touching people's life and making sure that we get away the stigma that people have, who even have cancer and fear going to a hospital. But when you have a unit like this one, everybody will always want to come.
Lydia Chomkama and Dan Lugemwa, UBC News.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has tasked the Reach to invest in service provision, including education and health. He says such projects do not only employ Ugandans, but also improve support for human growth and civilization. He made the remarks at King Caesar University in Bunga, Kampala, at a graduation ceremony of over 200 students.
For the authority entrusted to me, I constitute this assembly into the fourth congregation of King Caesar University.
It was excitement at King Caesar University at Bunga in Kampala as 240 students graduated in various disciplines in science courses.
Thank you.
During the graduation, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, tasked rich Ugandans to invest in service provision projects like education and health.
A lot of money. Invest in projects that benefit the country. If you know the people employed by this university, the young people who have been given opportunities from all over the country.
The chairperson of the University Council, who is also the Minister for ICT, Chris Bariomsi, urged graduates to embrace innovation and technology to be successful in life.
Pass through the university, but has the university passed through you? Because you can pass through school, and the school fails to pass through you. So the knowledge, the skills, the competences you have acquired should be able to transform you, so that when you speak, when you work, whenever you will be, when you are a family person, you should behave and be seen to appear like somebody who has gone through a university.
The State Minister for Higher Education, Jesse Muingo, who represented the Senior Minister, First Lady Janet Museveni, urged the scientists on being professional while treating patients.
I'm going to ask the Vice Chancellor, the management of King Caesar, together with my staff in these regulatory bodies, to sit together and make sure that these issues of charter are cleared within the shortest time possible.
The same message of professionalism was also echoed by the founder of the university, King Caesar the Great.
Always fast, be patient with your patients. Can tell your friend that be patient with your one. Always be patient with your patients.
Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Meanwhile, His Majesty Omusinga Charles Wesley Mumbere of Rwenzururu Kingdom has saluted President Yoweri Museveni for skilling the youth with employable vocational skills within the region to fight unemployment. His Majesty Omusinga, accompanied by his wife, Her Royal Highness Nyabagole Agnes Itungu, made the remarks at the graduation ceremony held at the Presidential Skilling Hub, Mubuku, Kasese District. A total of 466 students completed their vocational training and were awarded certificates in 7 employable vocational disciplines. On his part, the Minister of State for ICT in charge of national guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga Baluku, described the graduation ceremony as one that is fulfilling the historical mission of the Rwenzururu Kingdom, which is very similar to that of the national resistance movement.
Namatema munabwire eriasa hanu tukashyauwe kayiswa bana aba bakatunga emibiri. Your Majesty, eriasa nuri awo ruro rusunzo ro President Yoweri Museveni. Yo atubwera ende turangiro ndukasa hanu ukasya byaho erishehereria abanyarwenzuru abana abanyarwenzuru kali bo muisa ndebende bakoli imibiri yabo omwacho cha umuntu esaluka batabangura.
As the Omusinga, I have always believed in the power of education and skill development to transform lives and uplift communities. Your presence here today is a testament to the fact that education is indeed the key to unlocking endless opportunities and shaping a brighter future.
Ndivya ingani mku volunteeringira ingani mko laha manu kuwao echikulu nimuangane rindua echikulu ngani mtungirano he experience
tima asanairi mwevale kuntendeka kurungi sazino ndi mufildi ninkora nintunga chikumi change na bana bange.
Now, the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, together with the ICT Association of Uganda, have launched a toolkit which is intended to guide innovators with rightful information regarding intellectual property. While launching this toolkit, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Amina Zawede, encouraged innovators to have their innovations registered with the Government Registration Board so that they can benefit from their creativity.
1, 0.
Some of the innovations we have supported at the ministry have actually scaled up and are being consumed by government. The online business registration system that URSB is using was developed by our own Ugandans. And because they have registered their intellectual property, they can also go and trade that product in the region, on the continent, and that is what we are looking for. You know, when you go to market your products and you don't have some of these, rights registered or protected, you will not have a competitive advantage in the market.
The critical role that the National Intellectual Property Office, which is Uganda Registration Services Bureau, plays is to make sure that we promote and create awareness on intellectual property. But as we create awareness and promote intellectual property, we encourage and stimulate registration. We put in place registration frameworks, digital tools for registration that have been here for many years. And these are for everybody, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age, irrespective of origin.
Empowering female inventors by protecting their creation, IP rights, ensuring that women can reap the benefits of their innovations, both economically and professionally. This legal recognition and financial gain encourages further innovation and participation in STEM fields, areas where women have been historically underrepresented. But throughout history, we have seen that women
And loyalists as well as supporters of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba have chosen to hold silent celebrations for his 50th birthday anniversary in respect of his military office. He is currently serving as the Chief of Defense Forces of the UPDF. Many have celebrated him as a brave soldier who has tremendously contributed to the development, stability and continuity of Uganda.
It is on such a similar date of 24th April 50 years ago that the Chief of Defense Forces of Uganda, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, was born, a moment which has thrown his loyalists into celebrations.
I wish him the bestest happy birthday. And I want to thank all Ugandans for those who have been supporting General and who see him as fit to be our leader, our next president.
At the Patriotic League of Uganda headquarters in Naguru, Kampala, a patriotism group which General Muhoozi Kainerugaba heads as its chairperson, many have flocked to this place to hand in congratulatory messages.
Tuli basanyufu ate sife feka eggwanga lyonna lisanyufu ensi yonna nsanyufu.
For him being a first son, he would have now flown out of the country. Other countries celebrate his birthday.
Other birthday wishes came in from ministers, friends and well-wishers.
As residents of Kampala, of course, have our grievances. Potholes are on our case, our car shock absorbers are finished and all those things. But we are very hopeful that under your leadership as Uganda's next president, everything is going to fall into place.
At this age, at 50, this is when we shall get out the best from him. This is the best time that will ever be, that there will ever be for him to be the president of Uganda.
For the celebrants, this is beyond the birthday, but rather a well-walked journey.
Would like to take this moment to really appreciate our CDF, General Kainerugaba, for his inspiration to us, the youth.
I'm very certain that going forward after the 50 years, we are going to see fruits. Now that he has assumed office as the CDF, we expect a lot from him.
That we are crossing into the long-awaited message of peaceful transition of power. We thank our President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for mentoring him, for guiding him.
In the past, General Kainerugaba have thrown public celebrations for his birthday, but now, due to his current military assignment as the CDF, he finds himself left with no option but to appreciate a silent 50th celebration. Roberto Nyanko, UBC News.
Without to take a quick break, when we return, more details.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Hi, Fifi. How are you?
I'm fine.
Baby,
Whenever I eat chips and chicken, I feel stomachache, joint pain, and body weakness.
my dear, go to Timex Nutrition Center and learn the best food for your body and get treatment according to your blood group.
Are you sure?
Yes.
By the way, do you know your blood group, genotype, and how much you need to exercise? Come to Timex Nutrition Center for professional advice on how to manage your health and immune boosting. At Timex, we treat diseases like diabetes, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, pressure, and many more. For details, find us at our headquarters in Kampala on Nasa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor. We also have a branch in Barara, or call us on 0758 819952 or 0778 288361. Timex, be your own doctor.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Scholars have expressed concern over the high school dropout rates and poor performance among deaf children in Uganda. They attribute the situation to failure by government to provide special needs material and trained teachers for the deaf. They expressed the concerns during a stakeholders meeting in Kampala.
Education practitioners for learners with hearing impairment in a meeting in Kampala have decried the poor state of education among the children. They noted high school dropouts and poor performance of the children with hearing impairment. According to the executive director, Uganda National Association of the Deaf, this situation is high due to failure by government to train enough teachers and provide materials for these children with hearing impairment.
It is for the interpreters for deaf persons.
you know. It is not actually an expensive thing if we want deaf persons to be included. Let's understand sign language, accept it, and then have sign language interpreters in the mainstream structure of public service, so that when deaf persons want to access any information and interact with any government official, it would be much more easier for them to come in. But even in the schools, let's recruit interpreters so that we can reduce on the dropout of learners in schools. I want to see that sign language reaches every part of the world.
The education practitioners further cited that out of 6,000 enrolled children with hearing impairment, only 2,000 end up completing school.
If children cannot have a language, they will never acquire education. And if you read the last bullet, research has proved that in the majority of deaf children, about 100 or so, you may find 1 or 2, 3 who prosper or succeed in their learning. And it is entirely about the support that we provided them with the training.
In the meeting was the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education and Sports, who recognized the challenge and says government is committed to improving the situation, like recruiting more teachers to handle children with hearing impairment and building more schools for children with special needs.
I'm here to learn because I have discovered there are so many issues that we identified beyond what the ministry knew that were actual challenges. So we are here to really discuss, to find solutions so that we find a way of improving performance of our special needs learners.
Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
And local manufacturers with investments of over $300,000 stand a higher chance of benefiting from tax incentives and free land from Namamve Industrial Park. State Minister for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, encourages local investors to embrace manufacturing in order to complement government efforts in economic development and employment creation. Anita said this during her visit to Wazuri, a locally established chlorine manufacturing plant in Uganda.
The process of manufacturing chlorine is on. It is being done by Ugandan scientists employed here at Wazuri. It is a locally founded manufacturing plant in Bweyogerere near Kampala. What is produced is a product used for water treatment and purification.
But also when you come to cleaning products domestically, all our toilet cleaners, all our bleach products which are used for cleaning, so many of those products use chlorine as a base ingredient.
The production of this detergent is an import substitution strategy for Uganda. To witness this is Minister of State for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite. She is appreciative.
What this means to us as a country is that we are going to cut down or eliminate importation of chlorine, that's national medical stores or national water or all the other companies that have been using joint medical stores that have been using disinfectants or chlorine to treat water. They will not have to go to other developed countries to buy this chlorine, but they will have to buy it from Uganda.
Such an undertaking stands a chance of benefiting from tax incentives, a challenge local manufacturers face.
Getting some raw material in to get the clearance, it takes a while. For example, our raw material sat in the bond for a very long time before we got the approval to have it zero rated.
Companies like as his, if you invest up to $300,000, you actually qualify to get up to 10-year tax holiday. And Howard has already invested more than $300,000.
The investment is worth 5.5 billion Uganda shillings, with possibilities of having the investment expanded. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Government is to revise the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 after Parliament had advanced its scrutiny. The Minister for Works and Transport, Katumba Wamala, requested Parliament to consider withdrawing the bill in order to inform its way forward. The move is not far from the status of the report of the Parliamentary Committee that had asked the House to reject the new bill in its entirety. Controversy arose from, that's after the House notified that the Uganda Road Fund capitalization is derived from the Consolidated Fund, unlike its obligations.
Parliament, chaired by Speaker Anita Among, on Wednesday deliberated on a number of issues, including government's response on the status of the implementation of the National Development Plan 3, National District, Urban and Community Access Road projects.
The COVID-19 pandemic greatly affected UNRA's ability to achieve the set targets. Several activities, mainly road construction, were affected by the lockdown and or partial lockdown.
Government also responded to the query brought on Tuesday by the Leader of Opposition, Joel Senyonyi, on the appointment of Assistant RDCs.
I noted the concerns of the Right Honourable Speaker, and there shall be drawn to the attention of the appointing authority on the case-by-case basis.
On the pursuance of the rationalization of government agencies and public expenditure, the debate to repeal the Uganda Road Fund prematurely ended as government was quick to ask for more time to revise the status of the fund.
The road fund waits for money from the consolidated to be passed to it for it to pass it to the district. So you have a tier.
When the money is collected, originally it was supposed to go to the road fund, which did not happen. For operationalization. So it went to consolidated fund, which returns back the money.
The Parliamentary Committee on Physical Infrastructure rejected the government proposal to mainstream the Uganda Road Fund into the Ministry of Works and Transport, claiming that the move would encompass state development.
If the road fund is mainstreamed in the Ministry of Works and Transport, the fair and equitable allocation of road maintenance resources among the beneficiaries, including the Ministry of Works and Transport, will be affected.
The bill had been presented for second reading, but did not take long after mixed reactions were raised by the MPs over the government failure to capitalize the Uganda Road Fund, basing on its legal mandate.
Where we are blamed that Uganda had put road maintenance into the back seat of the vehicle. That the way to do it, you must have a specialized body, agency, to collect the money. And now we have it. If it has been denied some money, but we cannot destroy it, the maintenance of the roads is important.
But the PFMA, and I think the URA Act, makes that money go to the consolidated. That's the practice. What we had expected was that money would be corrected and put on a special account. So if we are going to cure, that's where the problem is.
The MPs agreed with Katumba Wamala, the Minister for Works and Transport, who asked that the bill be rejected and government instead considers amending the Uganda Road Fund Act to improve its operations.
Now, I'll agree with you, Right Honourable Speaker, that we withdraw this. We come back with an amendment to the Act.
This was supported by the Speaker of Parliament, backed by the MPs.
Legislature is in agreement with the Executive.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
The 2-day second annual National Labour Convention and Expo has opened in Kampala with a call to speed up the legal framework for workers' protection, primarily to curb injustice and exploitation. A convention running under the theme Improving Access to Justice, Equity and the Future of Work was opened by the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, in Kampala.
Members of the general public have joined the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development for the second annual Labour Convention and Expo 2024. The kickstart of the two-day convention has attracted a section of stakeholders with notable participants, including the Uganda Law Society, the Industrial Court of Uganda, Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation, among others.
Labour justice encompasses a wide range of rights and protection for workers.
Indeed, we strongly believe that the future of work lies in decent work. It is even the cornerstone of our law of development cooperation.
The State Minister in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, Balambal Gahara, and that of Labour, Esther Anyakon, graced the launch.
But the most important thing is we are driving to a way our Ugandans should have justice in all their labour markets and all their fields of work.
We shall stand by the workers, and we shall stand by the workers within and outside Uganda. So we shall work together, and we are going to do industrial relations with the owners of the companies, the factories, the employers, and the employees.
Betty Amongi, the Senior Minister in charge of Gender, Labour and Social Development, launched the two-day conference.
What we wake up every day to look up to ensure that the workers get those simple fundamentals. With that, I want to officially open your convention.
The convention will close on Thursday, 25th April 2024.
There is no labor disputes in districts. That's what I'm saying. So workers are exploited, workers are mistreated.
So for me, I was very excited when the minister came out and accepted and said, yes, workers are supposed to go on strike, they are supposed to do whatever it takes to claim for their rights. Now, most importantly, is also strengthening the justice system, especially industrial court.
Robert Onyango, UBC News.
World Food Programme has received a donation of 1,480 metric tons of beans and maize, plus 152 metric tons of cooking oil worth $2 million from the People's Republic of China to feed 165,300 school-going children in Karamoja through their school meals program. Officiating at the handover in Kampala, State Minister for Primary Education Joyce Muriku Kadichu said Ministry of Education and Sports will continue to promote approaches needed to address barriers to access education. It's through combination of quality education with a packaged health, nutrition interventions.
In 2020, the African Union recognized homegrown school feeding as a strategy for sustainable development. Uganda's Vision 2040 and NDP3 have recommended the development of a national school feeding policy and strategy. World Food Programme is implementing a school meals program in 315 schools in Karamoja sub-region, where they provide daily hot meal to over 210,000 children with the aim of keeping them in school and protecting them from various social challenges. Under this program, the People's Republic of China has donated 1,480 metric tons of beans and maize and 152 metric tons of cooking oil worth $2 million to benefit 165,300 children.
A total of 229,000 children enrolled as they need a supportive school meals, but we are only reaching 210,000. I'm grateful to the government of China for the contribution of $2 million. That will really take us to the second term of our school meals program.
The ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Uganda, His Excellency Zhang Lizong, says the donation is also an implementation to the commitment by His Excellency Xi Jinping made at China-Africa Leaders Dialogue in Johannesburg in 2023.
Is part of a rapid response to an urgent request of the government of Uganda to manage the food security issue in Karamoja.
High numbers of school dropout at primary level and lower numbers of enrollment into secondary are partly attributed to the challenge of school feeding. Ministry of Education and Sports emphasizes that delivery of nutritious school meals for children provides a platform that nourishes the next generation.
We need to work together to be able to address some of the bottlenecks affecting our education system, especially completing the quality of education We also will continue to combine quality education with a package of health and nutrition interventions in our schools.
Government, through Ministry of Education and Sports, has committed to develop a national school feeding policy by 2025 and also create a budget line and allocate funds towards the national school feeding program with effect from 2025-2026 financial year national budget. I'm Nafka Farida and Ganga Henry in Kampala.
And with that, we take a quick break. When we return, business news.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripusi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Cheers to something refreshingly different. Putting the brakes on a fast-paced world. Slowing down. Just enough to stand out. Cheers to the beer that does it differently. Brewed longer for extra refreshment. Refreshingly Club. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
And in business news, the World Bank team is in the eastern area conducting a review of ongoing infrastructural projects under its $360 million funding for urban local governments. According to Stephen Ajalu, senior urban specialist with the World Bank, the week-long inspection across the municipalities is intended to verify the progress of sewer works before the program's completion in June. The team is inspecting roads in Moroto, Mbale, Tororo, Busia, Kamuli and Lugazi, among other metropolitan areas.
The World Bank has stated that all projects funded by its 1.4 trillion shillings checkbook for regional cities and municipal roads must be finished within the next 8 weeks.
I think there are a few areas, some of the junctions, where we felt that engineers need to have a second look about the movement of traffic along those junctions before we witnessed some accidents or fatalities. No, I'm being concerned about this because, for example, we've raised this thing in our neighborhood here in Mbale. There are some junctions, we talked about the same, but it was ignored until serious fatalities happened. Then people started running around. But maybe it will be too late when the program has ended, it will never be fixed. So we would like you to take interest and look at it again and see how we can fix those areas.
This was during the second day of a week-long examination of urban road networks under construction across 5 municipalities in eastern Uganda.
The reason why we are seeing even our beautiful pavements being used as small restaurants, what we shall not have to encourage, we need to make sure that our enforcement does organize them for trade order such that we don't waste our beautiful roads in use.
Other objectives of the World Bank mission include reviewing work plans, budgets, releases, fund utilization, and potential hazards as the program nears its conclusion by June 30th, 2024.
If we talk about the roads alone, in the report you said you have done from Uswid 8.727 kilometers of roads. Those roads, if they are well maintained, they can remain in that state up to 2040 and beyond. But if they are not well maintained in a few years, they can break down. So what we told our friends in Moroto, and even here we are emphasizing it, let this infrastructure be maintained. Infrastructure is like anything else. There is nothing that you put there and stays forever and ever if you don't maintain it.
The Uganda support to Municipal Infrastructure Development Initiative is a 10-year World Bank intervention scheduled to terminate December 2023.
The inability of the municipality to absorb funds is a hallmark of inept service delivery, which we don't agree to. So it is upon us as leaders, it's upon us as technical people to ensure that the contractor fulfills part of his obligation and is paid what is due to him.
However, implementation issues encountered by local governments and contractors hindered civil activities, necessitating a 6-month extension by the multilateral lender.
And government has pledged to continue strengthening the collaborations with private sector towards the contribution to the National Development Plan 3 agenda. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, David Kibenge, who was represented by Michael Oyat, officiated at the Pitching Demo Day event of the Building Sustainable Social Enterprises in NGO project partners at Capital Solutions in Kajansi Town Council, Wakiso District.
GIZ's Civil Society in Uganda support program in partnership with Capital Solutions has been implementing a 13-month project dubbed Building Sustainable Social Enterprises for NGOs, which is co-founded by the European Union and the German Federal Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development. Capital Solutions has been the implementing partner for this project and has been responsible to ensure that these NGOs create social enterprise arm.
You could really see the change of mindset in those organizations. You know, they developed business acumen, they proposed new innovative approaches, and you can really see that they have grown. They've learned, they've developed their organizational capacities, but they've also changed their mindset.
Dr. Joyce Tamale, the CEO, Capital Solutions Limited, advised Ugandans to start social enterprises impacting communities profitably and sustainability.
We are looking at 8 sectors in Uganda, and we have built social enterprises that are already on scale level. They have been pitching to investors, and in the areas of water and sanitation from Mubende, in the areas of maternal child health, they have worked on menstrual hygiene products, especially pads. And we've also had microfinance company designed for ginger and the Great Abusoga. We have also designed fish innovation center.
Among other beneficiaries for this project is Elizabeth Aliano, owns a social enterprise based in Lida district, makes up tamarind products through innovation, market orientation and foster value addition to tamarind fruits locally available.
The land will cater for both the production unit, the warehouses, and land for growing the tamarind fruits. Because as I speak now, the tamarind trees are located in a few homes and it's being cut for hardwood. Yeah, so we need to start growing it on a large scale and promote its growth.
And also making us know that there are nitty-gritties that we need. Things to do with business plan, which we didn't have, a marketing strategy, which we didn't have, and actually the best practices.
Mike Oyati, who represents David Kibenge, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, commended the private sector and the partners, saying this goes a long way in contributing to the National Development Plan 3.
And we shall pay keen interest on key areas of partnership and for collaboration and coordination all the time.
The project has been building the capacity of 10 selected NGOs from 4 regions in Uganda that need tailored capacity development in building social enterprises with the aim of improving their financial sustainability. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
We've hit refresh with Castle Light. A premium new look. With the shiny silver label. An innovative cold indicator. A premium green neck label for a crisp and easy drinking beer. Fresh new look. Experience the fresh Newcastle Light.
And now in sports, Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, will host a Star Times Uganda Premier League double-header on the 1st of May. The selected games will see Bull FC hosting Vipers SC and KCCA FC taking on SC Villa. The two games will serve as part of the test events before the official reopening of the stadium's two test events are some of the requirements by CAF before the green light to host international games is granted.
That CAF has given us a green light to do a test match in Nambole. A test match is the last phase towards reopening of Nambole National Stadium. The test match, basically what it does, it helps CAF, the federation, the contractor, the facility owner, to test all that has been going under renovation to ensure that in a proper match environment, the stadium can pass. Together with UPL, we have chosen a double-header fixture that is going to involve KCCA hosting Sports Club Villa, Bull FC hosting Vipers on May 1st. So the test match in Nambole Stadium will be on May 1st, double-header, starting with the first game at 4 p.m. and the second game at 7 p.m. So it is a great opportunity for us, one, to reach the milestone of CAF allowing us to have a test match. Two, we are going to give fans an extreme extravaganza of a double-header of two title decider fixtures. Three, the experience of the newly revamped Nambole Mandela National Stadium, Nambole.
And the Uganda Chess Federation has confirmed St. Mark College in Namagoma to host this year's Father Grimes National Schools Chess Championship. It will be played over 8 rounds in the Swiss format.
The Grimes National Schools Chess Championship has been confirmed to be hosted by St. Mark's College, Namagoma.
It's a great honor to be identified among the many schools in the country to host chess competitions for schools. As St. Mark, we aim at offering holistic education that touches not only the mind, but also the heart and the hands.
This championship that sees beneficiaries of government point system for tertiary education has helped churn almost 100% of Uganda's best players.
This event will also help us to select talented students who will benefit from the government admission scheme, where some points are awarded to talented sportsmen.
This year's championship that starts on 5th May is expected to attract more than 134 schools and 1,200 participants, including persons with disabilities.
Chess, if you look at it compared to other games like football, basketball, children with disabilities, it might be a bit complicated for them. But however, chess is very easy. Just sit down, play. It's a game of the minds. So also encourage schools, to encourage the children with disabilities to also be taking part in playing this game.
We have already seen schools like Peak Primary teach chess from P1 up to P3, it is compulsory. We also have schools like Namagunga Primary and Gombe Junior that are already having a curriculum to teach the game of chess very early to their learners so that by the time they reach competition level, they have really mastered the art.
Schools like Peak Primary, Namagunga Primary and Gombe Junior that have embraced chess as a lesson to early learners are expected to grace the championship that St. Mark College Namagoma players are bracing to excel at.
We've been practicing from in between the term, but we're sure we are ready. We may take the championship this time round because we are the hosts. We are prepared and we are very sure. We have a good coach and the students are also qualified.
You can see it's a school that also encourages the female gender to carry out such board games because they are mostly expected. Actually, the most expected gender are the males. But we also at St. Mark's College Namagoma, we are also empowered as females. So our preparation has not been that bad. We are actually improving on our preparation. Yes, we are prepared as the females. We have been practicing. All those practices are surely not going to go to waste.
Last time out, Kira College Butiki bettered the boys open category, while a St. Andrew Kagwa Gombe won among the girls. In the under-12 category, Friends International Christian Academy Fika triumphed in the boys, with Peak Primary School edging all girls.
St. Mark's College Namagoma, we are ready.
There you go. And that does it for news tonight. Elizabeth Nakakoni on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
Welcome to our daily weather forecast from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I'm Jesper Ainabuna. In the morning, the southern sector had partly cloudy conditions together with a thunderstorm across several parts of the country. And later in the afternoon, we saw development of cloudy conditions over most parts of the country. For the satellite interpretation that was captured today, we have the southeaster rays that are blowing towards our country together with the advection of the Congo air mass, and this has enhanced rains in different parts of the country. So let's check how tomorrow it's going to be in the morning. Light thunder rains are expected across Kampala, Masaka, and the rest are partly cloudy conditions will be expected. For the eastern parts of the country, we are anticipating light rains across Jinja, Toro, as well as Sooti. Western part of the country, we are anticipating light thunder showers that are likely to prevail apart from Masindi with partly cloudy conditions. And for the northern parts of the country, we are anticipating light thunder rains across Gulu and the rest partly cloudy conditions apart from Lila, where light rains will be expected. Later in the afternoon, we are likely to have light thunder rains across Kampala with a high of 27 degrees Celsius. And from Masaka, light rains will be expected with a high of 28 degrees Celsius. While in Kasongola, light rains will be expected and temperatures will go up to 30 degrees Celsius. For the eastern parts of the country, we are anticipating light thunder rains across Jinja with a high of 28 degrees Celsius. And for Sooti, partly cloudy conditions will be expected with a high of 30 degrees Celsius. For the western stretch, we are anticipating light thunder rains across several parts, apart from Masindi with light rains and temperatures will be around 30 degrees Celsius, while from Barara 27 degrees Celsius and in Kigezi Highlands 24 degrees Celsius. Northern parts of the country, we are anticipating light rains across several parts, apart from Kotido as well as Kitugum, where partly cloudy conditions will be expected and temperatures will be around 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. Across the globe, we are anticipating sunny intervals around Cairo with a high of 37 degrees Celsius, and for Dubai, sunny intervals will be expected with a high of 33 degrees Celsius, while for Nairobi, it will be light rains with a high of 27 degrees Celsius. Thank you so much for watching our daily weather forecast. You can always find us on YouTube and also on our website. Good evening.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uganda is the Pearl of Africa, well endowed with boundless resources and opportunities. Sadly, the country is yet to reach a middle-income status with a paltry, outstretched and stressed tax base. But there is a silver lining to the dark clouds. The country is about to begin its oil exploration and exportation. The question is, will this development ease the stress and expand the tax base resulting from the exploration and exportation externalities? The commercial oil production is to peak in the 2030s. The bank estimates show that Uganda could earn up to $3 billion, approximately 11.4 trillion Ugandan shillings, in revenues from exports of up to 60,000 barrels of oil per day. This Wednesday, on Behind the Headlines at 10 p.m., Timothy Nyangweso will be joined by experts and players in the oil sector to discuss Uganda's future in oil and mineral production. Don't miss Behind the Headlines on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja Luo segment. Learn about the famous legend of Jipiri and Labongo and how the Alur, Acholi, Jonam and Japadola Jaluo emerged.
The Luo are basically Nilotic.
We are believed to have come from Baragazelle in the Sudan.
When this colonialism came,
Rora saved the life of men actually.
fought fiercely. Which was imprisoned here on that hill, Kololo.
Which remain the greatest hero in Acholi.
Premiering on Saturday the 20th of April 2024, 3 to 8 p.m. at Ndere Center. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Cheers to something refreshingly different. Putting the brakes on a fast-paced world. Slowing down. Just enough to stand out. Cheers to the beer that does it differently. Brewed longer for extra refreshment. Refreshingly Club. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
After the massive launch of the Museveni Warmer hit song in Kololo, Mukono, na Bweru wa Kiso District and Masulita War Zone, Munamasa Kansereko Emma, text Museveni Warmer to Mityana on Friday, the 26th of April 2024 at Mityana Saza